Marking the start of a new millennium as well as the creation of a whole new generation of gamers, Sony couldn't have truly known what they had on their hands when they unleashed the PlayStation 2 on the world 18 years ago. With over 3,000 games released, 160 million units sold, and a 12-year streak producing the dang things, it's clear to see the console's beloved status was earned. And impressively, the PS2 is something that still remains just as entertaining almost 2 decades on. God bless that chunky slab of black plastic. Now hold on to your butts, as there's plenty more that fit on this list which you can tell me all about in the comments below. For now though, I'm Ash from WhatCulture, and these are 10 PS2 games that prove it's the best console ever. 10. TIMESPLITTERS Future Perfect. The TIMESPLITTERS series has some fantastic entries under its belt, with a trilogy that still stands strong today and a loyal fanbase patiently waiting out their long-lost 4th entry. The games introduce a temporal war that has to be fought across numerous generations, proving to be an absolute blast from the past, as well as a shooter from the future, and just about everything else in between. Complete with quirky side characters ripe for interaction and a big old helping of sassy commentary, Future Perfect is the culmination of Free Radical's games into one big melting pot of improvements. With the best worlds to visit and added vehicles and cooperative play that will have you longing for local split screen to make it big again. 9. Gauntlet Dark Legacy. A classic dungeon crawler complete with a booming wizard to guide your way, Gauntlet Dark Legacy is one of those titles that can easily be glossed over. But if you've any inclination towards slashing your way through the denizens of hell, as I'm sure most of us do, then it's likely to have some appeal. Traversing between castles, mountains, hellscapes and more in the search of crystals and treasure just never gets old in any game setting. Gauntlet distills the classic fantasy gameplay into one massive adventure that knows exactly what it is, chickens and all, which if you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about, and delivers it in a way that makes fans of Golden Axe and Altered Beast sigh in contentment. It really is the peak of arcade gaming. 8. The Simpsons Hit and Run. Effectively Grand Theft Auto, but situated in the town of Springfield, Hit and Run is a love letter to Matt Groening's yellow-tinged animated series, and is stuffed to bits with references and throwbacks to classic Simpsons episodes. It also plays very well, boasting an arcadey style that sees the player assume control of a wide array of classic vehicles from the series, including Homer's iconic pink sedan, the Homer from the episode Oh Brother Where Art Thou, and even Mr. Plow. That name again, it's Mr. Plow. It remains the best Simpsons game of all time, and though that's not exactly a difficult feat to achieve given the competition, Hit and Run is still a classic from the 6th generation of consoles that you can bash to high heavens now. 7. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Everybody wants to be a wizard, and I will hear no words otherwise. Complete in all its retro glory, the original Harry Potter games allow you to become exactly that, playing as the big HP himself in the gaming counterpart to the beloved movies. The Chamber of Secrets is arguably the best of the bunch, improving on the Philosopher's Stone tenfold in its visuals and quirky minigames, where you can fling gnomes, fly broomsticks, and generally be a magical nuisance all day whilst wandering around Hogwarts. It was every 11-year-old's dream realised on a shiny reflective disc, and still has a special place in PS2 history for really letting us in on the magic we'd only been able to watch previously. Nothing quite beats smashing everything in sight into a fine pulp in the hunt for jelly beans after all. 6. Kingdom Hearts. Disney just never gets old. Warming the hearts of millions for years on end, the magical mouse has made something for everyone over the years. From Olympian feats of strength in Hercules to flying carpet adventures in Aladdin. And with Kingdom Hearts, you can actually play alongside them yourself. Games are designed to give you a personalised, indulgent experience of whatever world a creator puts at your fingertips. But to be able to engage with something as broad as Disney is just as special now as the game was upon release. Watching yourself with Donald Duck beat the shit out of forces of evil is always a good time. 5. Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. Being able to rewind time might just be the best game mechanic out there. Instead of dying, restarting at some godforsaken checkpoint, and repeating the process until you snap your controller in half, instead you get to sneakily warp yourself out of the bottomless pit, or patch up that fatal flesh wound as if nothing happened at all. Magic Sand has never been so fun. Made into a questionable film starring Jake Gyllenhaal in 2010, even that's not enough to knock the shine off this blast from the past. Sitting somewhere alongside the original Lara Croft games as an endlessly entertaining action game with some groundbreaking, at the time at least, mechanics. Considering just how long-standing this entry into the franchise has been, sand really does get everywhere, doesn't it? 4. Beyond Good and Evil. Revered as an industry sweetheart and revered as a forgotten gem of the console, Beyond Good and Evil was released at a time when everyone seemed to be preoccupied with something else entirely, as plenty missed out on its quirky gameplay and charming visuals the first time around, complete with a giant talking Uncle Pig and a world of bizarre aliens. Beyond Good and Evil is both a beautiful game to look at and has a genuinely intriguing narrative pushing it forwards, and its recent continuation into a sequel proves just how beloved the original has been since release 15 years ago. Original, entertaining, and thoroughly lovely to wander around in, replaying on the recent remaster is enough to bring back all those warm and fuzzy feelings of a first playthrough, but nothing beats sticking the original disc into a PS2. 3. Sly Raccoon. Truly one of the best sleuth games of all time, Sly Raccoon sees you play as a particularly sneaky trash panda as he tries to live up to his family heritage and become a master thief. The aim of the game is to restore all the pages of the Thievius Raccoonus, a family book passed down through generations for each owner to add their own techniques for stealing, which, ironically, was stolen themselves by the Fiendish Five. That's gotta sting a bit. Learning a whole array of stealth moves from spire jumping to explosive hats, there's a host of minigames to complement the main plot that you can practice your thieving ways on, making the game endlessly revisitable from the first entry through the third. The Murray approves! 2. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Although San Andreas is on here, all 3 of the PS2 GTA games could have easily been tagged in instead. San Andreas was probably the title players lost the most hours to, though actually make that weeks, capping off the entire generation in the perfect way. Introducing an admittedly ridiculous amount of RPG elements, San Andreas also proved Rockstar weren't content to rest on their laurels. Of course, not every feature they added worked, but even in its worst moments, like the still derided train sequence, the sequel birthed iconic gaming memories that developers trying twice as hard couldn't even come close to capturing. Also, San Andreas added jetpacks, so just like, suck it, Vice City. 1. Ratchet and Clank. The very best combination of action platformer with a galaxy far, far away, Ratchet and Clank was the beginning of something special. The inception of a buddy cop-style alien adventure that lets you collect weapons, gadgets, and quirky memorabilia from all over a strange new space system in a bid to save it. Coming after the release of the original Spyro trilogy, production company Insomniac retained much of the lovable charm of their fantasy series, translating it into a science fiction setting and making something equally as special and memorable. Having a slew of crazy weapons like the Walloper and the Suck Cannon throughout the game only serves to make it that much more replayable. Good fun with an instantly engaging narrative about evil aliens and endlessly smackable characters. They really don't make them like they used to with this one. And that's our list. What was your favourite PS2 game and do you still play it now? Let us know in the comments section below. We release a list every day, so I'll see you again at the same time tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys!